G'day guys, hope you're all well. Hope you had a great weekend. Not a great deal happened in the markets over the weekend, but a little bit of bullishness. We had basically had this candle and this candle, two drives up, pushing up into that cradle zone a little bit further into the area that I was kind of keeping an eye on, hoping that we pull back into the point at which it makes it a lot clearer for me to short from if that was to actually, if there was to be a setup. Now right now I'm not saying that there's a short at all. We're up and around that 7800 level, back in that cradle zone. As you can see, the grind up being slow has led the 20 and the 10 period move down, so the cradle zone is caught up a little bit with the price right now. As you can see, the 10 is starting to curve back up. So what am I waiting for? Let me just get rid of this fib, make it nice and clean. I'm going to take you through a top 10 right now. But effectively, if I see a small bearish candle in this zone, now it needs to close tomorrow. So what's the time now? Midday, just past midday, 1:35. If I'm going to have a short, it'll be earliest tomorrow at 10 a.m. Sydney time, which is when this candle closes. So wherever that may be, whereabouts you are in the world, that's what I'm waiting for. So it's pulled back beautifully. It's right in that cradle zone. Look, I'd love for 7,000. I'd love for this to be the low and we continue to drive higher. I'd absolutely love that. If we look at the weekly here, the one thing that will be slightly bullish for this potentially becoming a higher low would be if we break the high of that candle, which is the bullish weekly candle. Now we are, lower highs coming in. This is a higher low here. Could this potentially be a higher low? I hope so. It'd be good. But we won't know that that's a higher low until we break up through 10,000 and create a higher high. So we're getting ahead of the game there. Just coming back to the daily. Once again, I trade what I see, not what I think, and not what I want. I invest in what I want for long-term outcomes. I trade for the shorter term. Looking at Bitcoin, I'm waiting for that candle. I'm just going to shoot through now the top 10. You can see Ethereum's above that 586 level where we have seen a little bit of support, nothing too major. It's kind of around $600. We're above there right now. I am keeping an eye on this on the 4 hour for a pullback into the 600-ish zone. What am I saying ish about? Well, let me show you. If I introduce to the Fibonacci booster strategy by putting in this Fibonacci from here to here and then going again to the last most recent, you'll actually see that there is two levels right here around 600, the 61.8 and the 38.2%. I'm not looking for a trade. I'm not looking for a booster off of there. For those of you who know the strategy, I'm looking to see if I can get a nice little bullish candle here for a cradle trade in and around that $600 mark. But that is for later on. It's not pulled back there yet, but it's a part of my watch list and it is what I'm watching. Bitcoin Cash, the hedge that I had from way back here, people have been asking me about that. I haven't moved my stop. No, it's a hedge. The market could very well fall from here. Bitcoin Cash is a great hedge. I love it as a hedge because when the market falls, Bitcoin Cash falls harder than the rest of the market, especially Bitcoin, and vice versa on the way up. So being that Bitcoin has still got to work out whether it's going higher or lower here, I won't be selling out my Bitcoin Cash trade. What if I get stopped out? I don't care. Doesn't worry me at all. It's a hedge. EOS had a bit of a pop on the weekend and it's pulling back a little bit here. I'm not really too keen to trade anything on EOS at this stage just yet. Just not good enough chart structure on any of the time frames there. Cardano is sitting right up in this old resistance level. You can see here. I'm not shorting this. I'm waiting to see what Bitcoin does. It's perfectly on the 61.8 and it's struggling at that level. It does look like it's laboring, but like I say, until Bitcoin's showing me a little bit more clarity, I'm not too keen to be jumping around shorting everything because there are some good setups out there. I'm just happy to wait because if Bitcoin sets up tomorrow, there will be more opportunities. I'm happy to wait and see what goes on from here. Lumen, the same thing, back into there, lower high, higher low. Lower low, higher high. So not in an uptrend or downtrend on the 4 hour. However, we are in an uptrend. I was looking to see if we got a pullback here. We did, but it wasn't tradable, so nothing there on Lumen for me for right now. Neo, here's one you could look at and say, well, potentially you could short this. Yes, potentially you could. It's not the best chart structure as far as this little bit here, but it's not terrible either. You could build a argument for shorting here as a cradle, but for me, again, I'm more than happy to wait and see what Bitcoin does to give me some clarity. IOTA's had a very good bounce, biggest bounce in the top 10 last week. Right now, the only thing I'm sort of considering, actually, I don't think it was anything right now. No. Maybe the 8 hour, but again, it's highly unlikely. Again, still happy to wait and see what the market does playing out tomorrow. Ripple's had a nice little move there, as you can see on the 4 hour, now trending up on the 4 hour. If you have a look on the daily as well, not a great high or low, but it has had a fairly decent move to the upside and does look a bit more bullish than a lot of the top 10 there. Pullbacks in, maybe worthwhile considering. Let's have a look at the 15. Yeah, I was just going to see if there's any sort of booster type trades. probably more so looking, I mean, you look at this, right? Back in the cradle zone move, back in the cradle zone move, replicating that good convergence. 2 and 4 hour time frames would be the time frames that I'm searching there. And Litecoin, I was looking for a trade back here, didn't quite get what I was after, so now not so much. And if we have a look here at the daily, it is back in that cradle zone after having bounced off of $111. So that's a top 10 analysis there for you guys. I hope you've had a good weekend. I hope you're enjoying the beginning of a new trading week. That is the top 10 analysis. Have a good day. Bye for now.